I just saw The Witch. Came out in February of 2016, and I came into this with very high hopes. And in the first about 20 minutes or so of it, as my friend that I went and saw it with so lovingly referred to as the Oregon Trail shit, I thought I was going to go to sleep. But I thought, whatever. This is establishing itself as a period piece. Everybody's talking in that annoying ass. Hath with forth thee the fortnight, whence thou didst thou thee? That kind of crap. So I just like, through the first part of the movie, I just wanted to just scream into the production booth of the movie theater, turn on the fucking subtitles! Now, I had seen, I don't remember the name of it now, but there was a movie done that was based around the Bell Witch, and I thought that the whole idea of the Bell Witch was just this great story it's been in folklore for years. So, whoa, let's do something fun and interesting with it. Let's make it cool. But it was just filled with a bunch of digital effects. And then it had a Twin Peaks kind of ending. That pissed me off about that movie. And I thought this was going to be the answer to that one. Let's do something real. Let's use maybe practical effects or something. Let's really gross people out and also show a splinter of what 1600s America was like. And well, I guess that last part this movie got right, but the rest of it, no. So let's go into what the movie's actually about. The family gets kicked out of their community, and they ended up traveling out into the wilderness and finding a small plot of land outside of some woods. And they just, they build a house, they build a barn, they get a goat or two goats, something like that. Really evil-looking black goat. And they decide to farm off the land, and we're obviously going into the winter seasons because it's constantly overcast. So the family, they're struggling, but they're making it by. And there's an extreme emphasis on religion and Christianity. And I gotta say, the scriptwriters for this, they had a pretty easy job because, the first maybe 45 minutes of this movie, I feel like I'm being an asshole by saying this, but the majority of this script was like Bible scriptures, and they're just repeating them over and over and over and over again. And then someone's asking, well, why do we do that? And then they just quote the Bible again the whole time, man. And I know it's for emphasis and everything, but I did want to know a smidgen more about the characters, so maybe I would care if they were alive or not. So things start to go wrong, and I'm not going to spoil anything by saying this because this is in the trailer if you saw it, the eldest daughter, she takes the young baby of the family out into the field to play with him for a little bit, because everybody else is doing whatever, milking the goats and, I don't know, making fences or some shit. But she takes the kid out into the field and she starts playing peekaboo with him. And on about the fourth or fifth time that she does the peekaboo, the kid just disappears. And this brings me to one of the first issues that I came into this with. I did not want to see that this was just going to be some sort of like the movie I was discussing before. Like there was going to be a real explanation to this. There was going to be something, oh, this is a logical explanation of why the kid disappeared. I wanted there to be a supernatural element to it. And it establishes it right off the bat. So this is where the film starts to go into crazy town. And, my friend I saw this with, he brought it up, and I agree with him completely. When this movie gets crazy, it gets really fucking crazy. And it's gross, edgy, and it is shocking. But the other, I don't know, let's see how many crazy parts are probably in it. 4 or 5. And let's say maybe those take up about, I will give a liberal estimate, 15 minutes, maybe. So the rest of the film, everybody just looks confused, tired, and sweaty, and very much in need of a shower. So, I was really let down by a lot of the film. I'm like, God damn it, this is just it's a slow burner. But, it's not like Beyond the Black Rainbow slow burner, but it's a fucking slow burner. And it just gets so boring and drawn out, and everybody's upset and unhappy. And I'm assuming it's all for the emphasis on the idea that this is what life was like back then or something, or at least this is the life that it was entailed in the folk tales. There's other parts about it that I didn't like too, so let's get into some of those. The soundtrack to it. Though I am a fan of avant-garde stuff, I enjoy occasional noisy ambient shit. This soundtrack was something like the orchestra tuning up, or not maybe the orchestra, but the ensemble tuning up and scraping their strings. It's unnerving, and I get that, but I would have enjoyed to hear maybe a couple notes occasionally. Just do a fucking low tone like Paranormal Activity did or some shit. We'll get the damn point. You don't have to make my eardrums feel like they're gonna blow up. And, speaking of the music, this movie was so goddamn quiet when it wasn't noisy with the shitty strings going shh. I'm not joking. I heard somebody biting their nails in the row ahead of me. And then I'm hearing like explosions from the theaters next to me, and like loud booms and tones and shit. And I'm just sitting there going, fuck, man. I'm thinking about leaving this one and just sneaking into the theater next door. What I'm most upset about is that the trailer to this movie set it up as it was going to be the shocking, terrifying movie. And yeah, it is shocking. It's got some fucked up stuff in it. And you do kind of stay on the edge of your seat, but only because it's like it pushes you on the edge of your seat and it doesn't ever take you back. And that's what I've said this before. It's like, you think that maybe there would be a little bit of an up and down as far as emotional content with, like, just to make you enjoy the family a little bit or empathize with them. But after a while, you just kind of hate everybody. And you don't really like any of them except for maybe a couple characters. So you're not really brought into the story very well. And I think that's a legitimate concern about this film. It pushes you to the edge of your seat right off the bat. It never takes you back. And I know some people might not agree with it because this movie got very good reviews. So I'll talk about a couple things I did like about it. Production is very good. The sets that they chose, the actors they chose, the acting, the performances were just excellent. As much as I was annoyed by the soundtrack, it still did, like I said, it still did reiterate the idea that there's a very unnerving thing happening. I liked the idea that there was a supernatural element to this, because I don't think it's going to blow anybody's mind by saying that there's an actual witch. I'm pretty sure they showed her shadow a few times in the trailers. So I enjoyed those parts of it. I was just really let down because the pacing was fucking just iceberg slow. And then there wasn't a whole lot of encounters with the witch. And not that there needed to be, but there needed to be something more there. I needed to care about people. It is a rough story, but you're just not going to get the ups and downs. It's just a big fucking downward slant into craziness. Maybe that's something that put me off about it, was that it was so bleak. But then, there's the scares in it. And I gotta say, this has some pretty fucking scary shit in it. And even though it's not on the screen for very long, it's the parts that are going to stick with you. The last few minutes of it, are like ingrained into my head because it's pretty disturbing. And because I saw it in the theater, it was very loud and encompassing. And it was one of those things where I kind of wanted to like step out for a minute and come back in once I took a couple breaths of fresh air. So, for that, I'd say it's cool, but I don't know if I don't think I'm going to buy this movie. I didn't really enjoy how slow of a film it was. It's definitely a period piece. This is not for your casual, like, horror movie fan. And when the movie ended, there were several people who went, "What?" I mean, even the people behind me went like, "That was the worst movie I've ever seen." And I don't think it's the worst. It's made by people who are doing something kind of artful, and we're making a film that's not happy. It's not nice. It's pretty fucking mean, and nothing good happens in it. That's about it. So, good luck. Go see it, but I'd go to the matinee show.